welcome. It is Desiree, and we are in our second series. We finished up our first, where we focused on just taking our stash and turning it into a tag or an ornament or a combination of the two. We even got into some wine bottle tags. So there we go. In series number 2, we are going to be focusing on just the idea of a poinsettia. So the different ways that we can ink a poinsettia or set up a poinsettia. So we could be die cutting, stenciling, going to be using my colored pencils, watercolors. So just the different ways that we can add colors to these beautiful plants. Yes, it's a plant. It's actually not a flower. Who knew? So for this one, we're going to start out with a stencil. I've been getting more and more into stencils. They are very cost affordable. If you're looking to add layers to your images with ink and colors, and you're not really comfortable, or maybe you don't like layering stamps, stencils are the way to go. They're easy to line up, not too much confusion depending upon how they're laid out. And the set that we're going to be using today is this beautiful, large, whimsical poinsettia image, and it's by Alex Siberia. It's called Festive Poinsettia. This is new. This did come out this year, and the moment that I saw it, I just love poinsettias. I absolutely love them. As we get closer to the holidays, it's one of the things that I get excited about because I love building them in die cuts and coloring them and just making them come to life. There is also a die set that's available with this that coordinates with all of these images, but we're just going to focus on the stamp and the stencil, and this stencil is a 6-part stencil. So it focuses on the leaves twice with a light and a dark, and then it focuses on the outer band of the leaves of the poinsettia in 2 darker shades of red we'll be using, and then the center portion of the leaves where we'll be using lighter shades. I encourage you though to dig into your stash. Maybe you have another stencil set of poinsettias, or maybe you just have a stencil set of something completely different. Let's look at the technique that I'm going to be using today and put that to your stash. If you're interested in these products, they will be linked down below in the video description. But again, dig into your stash. That for me is what this whole series is truly about. Remember, this video is going to be probably long. I want to show you as much of the process as I can. Fingers crossed that we'll keep recording, and I will know that when it stops recording, yay. You just never know. So lots of gabbing, but again, we'll come back. We're going to switch over to a voiceover, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the card that we've made together. All right, let's get started. We have started to stamp our image because I almost forgot to hit the record button. I love this poinsettia. It is absolutely gorgeous. I am using my Simon Says Intense Black ink, but remember, mine is drying out. So if you have one, yes, it's going to be a lot darker. I like the softness that this has, and I'm really hoping it stays this way for a very, very long time. I say it every time I use it. I know. We have our image now down, and I'm going to set this onto my waffle flower sticky mat, or sticky stamp, whatever we want to call it. You can see that this is a 6-part stencil, but this is very easy to line up. And what I'm going to do now here, so you could use this here, put your color down, and then add a second dark color. Always look at your stamps or your stencils first. Look at how they're laid out. This is what helps me. Okay, so here's a trick for me. I like to look at how they're laid out. Now, I added some Post-it strips because I am a mess when it comes to stenciling. I do not stay in the lines. I go off the stencil, and I don't want to get this on the panel because this panel, I'm not die cutting this out. I'm going to make this right here. This stencil has a second layer for the leaves and for the petals. Now remember, a poinsettia is a plant, so everything is a leaf, actually. The leaves turn into the colors. Just a little tidbit there. And you can see that you don't have to add that second color. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but you don't have to. So I always like to break down my stencils first, meaning look at them and say, okay, what's this going to do? What's this going to do? Now you can see that center is part of the darker leaves, but that's okay if I got a little bit there because, again, it's a center of a poinsettia. It's going to have a gem, or it's going to have glitter, or it's going to have something else there. But look at that beautiful dimension. Now we're going to work on the color portion of the leaves. And again, still sticking with the Post-it strips. I do like to, I keep my waffle flower sticky mat on its backing. I do have the grid backings there, and I like to keep that on there. So I tape it to a smaller glass mat that I have. This is by Studio Boards. I always have that linked below so you can get it at a discount. And I just love this size. I also have the larger size too. That sits on another table. But I love this size, and it doesn't mess up with my camera and the lighting. So that's why I have that. And I keep it adhered to this, or I'll tape it down to this so that it's white. And I can see those lines if I have to line something else up. So we've got our 2 layers of green. I'm now doing the 2 different layers of the reds and the corals. Again, making sure that I'm putting those Post-it strips down, slowing myself down to make sure. I tend to not only be a rough crafter, as you can tell as I throw things across my table here, but I'm a fast, I go quickly. I don't slow myself down. The only time I really slow myself down is with colored pencils. And I think that's why I love them so much. But this stencils are helping me do that as well. I want to make sure, like I'm being daring here by not putting those Post-it strips down. But I know I'm staying towards the center. But this just helps me to slow down and look at what's coming up next. Where is this going? Now I am going to pull in that center piece, and with a smaller brush, I am going to put a little bit of a gold yellow down there, just to give it that color underneath whatever gems or, embellishment that I put there. So it's not that bright white, but that image, I just love that image. Yes, that's my way of drawing inks like that. So we're going to put this back in because I want to add my sentiment, and I'm going to put that down in the bottom right hand corner. This is going to be a 6x6 card that we're putting together here. Again, love the real estate of 6x6, 7x7, 5x7. I think it is awesome that we have that. The fonts in this stamp set are very unique. I love the openness of the Christmas and then the script of Mary that's going to come across that. And I am going to let that hang over the sentiment. I know some people say, okay, that just drives me crazy. I know. But I love that look. I wish they had a Mary in a certain script that would go across the center of Christmas. I think that would be absolutely gorgeous. But I love the way it just mixes together when it comes to those two fonts. So now that we have that, I am going to go around the edge, yes, with the vintage photo. I do like the white in the back of that poinsettia, but it's too bright for me. So I'm just adding a little bit of vintage photo around the edge and then bringing that up close a little bit to the poinsettia so that it has almost like a glow. And if you notice, when my hand is over that poinsettia and the inks, I'm actually using my nails to hold that piece down. I don't want to smear this because I have that habit as well. I am going to come in to have some splatters there. We'll add a little bit of water to this, and just a few are going to go over the poinsettia. I am going to get my frame ready first, and for this I am going to cut out the center. So before I've said that sometimes I do cut out the centers, sometimes I don't. This is a Tonic Studios satin mirror cardstock, and their specialty cardstocks are very thick. Absolutely lovely. You've got a lot of stability when it comes to these. The cardstock that I used for the poinsettia is actually a Bristol vellum cardstock that I used. So that's nice and thick as well. That is not going to fall into the valley. That's going to hold its shape. If I used like a Nina cardstock to do this, or a Spellbinders, or any other type of cardstock, I would not have cut out the center of the satin mirror cardstock. I would have kept it as one piece so that I didn't have the sinking. I mean, you can see the difference between the two. But because I did use the Bristol vellum, that's going to hold its straightness. It's going to hold its shape. So I pick and choose when I do this. I have a very thin border of the red satin mirror, and then I have the black covering the entire front of the 6x6 card panel. I don't know why I just put that pad underneath, because you can see my splatters are still going all over the place. It's saved a little bit. So we have a light flurry that came in across our poinsettia. And now we're going to add some gold gems to the center in different sizes. And we're just placing them around. But again, I still do have that base of color just in case any of that is showing. But we're going to fill that area up with the gems. And just making sure that they are close together when we put them together. Now you're seeing that glue. Don't worry, it'll dry clear. Oh my goodness. Never fear, and don't worry. So let's take, see, violence. Okay. This goes together with these stencils so easily. And look at that beautiful image and detail that you get. Now, I chose my Simon Says Intense Black because it's starting to dry out. And I love that it's a soft, light black. There's just no other ink pad that I have. I wish it would stay that way for an extremely long time. But absolutely love that. Just have that faint black going on. I matted it with a satin mirror red and just have a thin line, thin border of that going around. And then I have a thicker line of the black. So the black was cut to 6 by 6. The red was cut to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then this is actually Bristol vellum that I used to stamp on and do my stenciling with. This was actually cut 5 5/8 by 5 5/8. So I should get that, so I could get that thin border there. I did the Merry Christmas two-toned. Okay, that was just a little tiny fleck there. So I did it in the mid-tone red that I used, or the lighter red for the poinsettia larger ones. And then I came over it with the black and just brought the Merry down over the Christmas. I thought that would give it a nice look. Added some gold gems and just put some gold ink down there just to have that color in the background, just in case it showed through. And then added some splatters, just a light flurry that came across this. And I like it when it goes across all the mats, not just the image. I let it go over the sentiment. I usually do it after I put the gems on too. I just really like that look. And during the holidays, there's lots of splatter. I like to have the splatters on the cards or the images. Yep, not on my roof, just saying. All right, so you saw how quick that came together. And again, this is a 6 by 6 card. You know, if you stamp this in the center of a panel, you could get 4 sections if you make a smaller card out of this. So again, it's a larger stamp and we can do different things with it. You can see I have it going off the page. I could have shifted it even more off the page, but I really didn't want to lose that image. And then I just brought the vintage photo around it just to give that frame to this card. As always, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're digging into your stash and having fun with your stencils, having fun adding colors to them, creating your cards. This is a flat laying card. Yes, I've got some gems in there, but that's not going to add too much extra postage. But I hope you're having fun and I hope you're digging around. If you are interested in these products, the main products will be listed down below in the video description. And if you have any questions, please make sure you reach out and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Please make sure you subscribe. I'd love to have you here, and hit that thumbs up and ring the bell so that you're notified when the next video is ready for you to view. Remember, enjoy the art that you create. Enjoy crafting. Enjoy that concept of just pulling all your supplies together from your stash and just having fun with them. Enjoy it. Don't stress over it. There is no stress in creativity. No, there is not. And don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Make it your own and have fun. But remember what's still and will always be most important to me. Always keep being creative, guys. And I will talk to you in video 2 of our Poinsettia series. Till then.